2000, 2001. And if I want to dial here 2000, I have to dial 810, 2001. So what will happen? The customer wants to remove this system and just install NEC-IP phones there. But at the same time, he would like to keep the same number in LAN. That means the user in this area should dial each other 2000, 2001. That means in the same system, the customer would like to have 2000 and 2000. But at the same time, if this group of users want to call the other group of users, they should use the old access code. It's a little bit tricky, but it's also very important for the migrations. Especially where on most military network where it started, we really start to use IP-centric because the customer already happy with Norton network or Mighty network or Siemens network. Look, it's easy to change the user functionality, but it's not acceptable to change the dial because maybe this dial is known over the network for a lot of users. So they would like to keep the same numbering. The solution is very easy. Here, SV95 again, we remove the BAP access, we install the phones, and we define here station 2000, 2001, and we make them related for example, user group number 11. And here, we make user group number 12.
In this example, station numbers should not be same, just telephone numbers.
Welcome first. Telephone number also varied maybe, and we will have again 3 conventions. We have extension number, we have a private number, and we have public number. So what we are talking about is extension number. And we will talk about the number that will be spread over the network or the nodes, because this system was in the old days with multiple systems. Now you have only one node, and this node should have my extension number, which is 2000, that the user in my area could call me, and the private number that the users from the other area connected to the same system have to call it, and the BSCN number. So 3 different concepts. When IP-centric feature is enabled, you have to station call 2000 from user group 10 can call 2001 from the same user group. If I want to dial, I just do dial 2001. If I want to dial outside, also in the same in a different user group, I have dial, for example, access code and the user group number 10 and 2001. In the intergroup, I can call my extension number. Simply, we need to call the complete access code number. This is the old scenario. 2000 here, my telephone number is 2000. In my telephone number is 2000. But once I call here, I use the access code 810. So the customer would like to hear the same again. A user in another user group syntax always dial its private number. A user from in another user group for IP syntax is always dial the private number. That means in this scenario, I cannot dial 2000 to reach here. 2000 means this extension. But if I want to call this 2000, I have to dial the private number, which is the number over nodes or over areas. The relation between user group number and the private number is made in AUGNM and UBVN. For example, their number is 9 or 0, area code 035, and office code is 681, and the extension number is 123456, the complete number. For the private number, I would like to dial 009, mean 9035568891 is the fixed bar, and the access code can be added in the AUBVN. I will make a next example with describing the difference between AUGNM and AUBVN.
Please, can you clarify for me what is the private number exactly? Because in my mind, the private number is something different.
Yeah, the private number in out of IP syntax have a different convention. But in the IP syntax functionality, I will use the same example again. This is your extension number, correct? You understand this?
Yeah.
Here. Now, this is his extension number. But both are the same. looks like it's confusing. If I dial from any node, 2000, to which 2000 I have to go?
Inside.
Yes, later, but in concept, how I can define.
Okay, but we can't dial in this node
We
directly.
have to
We have to
assign
have
a location.
Wait,
something.
Basically, I have inside my node a presentation for myself called extension number.
This node and this node separate PBX.
In the old scenario, there was an old BBXs. Like we have 95 here, and we have Norton here, and we have Alcatel here. The customer decided to remove the Alcatel and the Norton, but at the same time, he want to keep the same way that the user was dialing it. Was the Norton user was here, want to call an EC system, they was dialing 810 2000 to reach to this extension. And if an EC extension want to call the Norton, they have to dial 8, for example, 811, 811, then the 2000. So they have area code, access code, area code, and the station number. This was the topology. And the customer asked you to have this migration. That means he removed the old system and he installed only an ACID phone. And instead of the Norton and Alcatel system. Clear? Now, what the customer want, your extension here was 2000. Fine. Your extension here is 2000 again. How can I have? They are now connected for the same system. There is no more Avaya or no more Alcatel, no more Nortel here.
One system.
Yeah, they are all in one system. They have only one CPU of 95. Now, here in this area, which we convent to use user group, we will have 2000 to 2001. In this new area, which was installed with the Norton system, the customer asks you again, I should have here 2000 or 2001. The same extension that you are using here, but they are related for different area. In the same time, the customer would like to keep the same way of dialing. If the user 2000 here want to call this 2000 here, he have to use the same access code that he used before. So we come with a convention called private number. This number called my private number. My extension number is 2000, but my private number over the areas, it's the same BBX. It was a different BBX. It was related for different nodes, right? Now it became in one system. So we convert it as a private number. Again, we have here 2000 and 2000 here as well. This is my extension number here, and this is my extension number here. To call it from here to there is called private number. And if this extension want to go outside, it's 2000. And if this extension is going outside, again, it's have
Access code.
the same extension number, because here we have a public number, which is a number. In the old scenario, all the COT trunk and ISDN is connected here. So the nodes from Norton was passing here, and it was passing here. But they was presenting themselves for the different DID. Now they are again, in this new scenario, they are connected for the same system.
And the UGN is exactly what he did this.
He
scenario.
defined instead of an old system, user group. So I have now three new presentations. My extension number, which I would like to save it. If I am in this area, I want to call same extension number. If I want to go for this area to this area, I have to have the private number to call these guys. And also, if I want to go outside, I have my public number. So we have three new conventions. Clear? About the conventions.
Yes.
In order to set up the relation between user group number and the private number, you have to use command AU-GNN and AU-BVN. I will add more examples here. Column party number is obtained by the following procedure. User group number, telephone number, which is determined by using the London station number, called by ALGSN. That means my telephone number is assigned by the ALGSN. Access code, office code, determined by the user group number and the telephone number, which is AU-BVN and AU-GNN. The access code and the office code are added to the telephone number in case of inter-office or inter-location dial. The obtained number in the display in the LCD is the code party number. Again, the simple rule here, your ALGSN is created by your telephone station number or your telephone number. AU-BVN and AU-GNN, you define your private number over the network. That means you are here defined as extension 2000, right? But at the same time, you define yourself over the network to be 811-2000. So the relation between your telephone number and your area is defined in a UGNN and based on your user group number. Find a better example. Here was the scenario. We have 95 and we have extension 2000, 2001 and we have extension 3000, 3001 and we have an old BBS connected to 95 which is having a number we have 4000, 4001. So it was a different BBS. Here in ASBA-in I was defining 4 as a LCR, not the station number. But the customer later on asked, remove the system please, and install with the same numbering layer. I mean to say, I have now here an old system removed and I converted to only IP phones. So again, I want to keep this 4000 numbering layer here, 2001, 3000 and 4000 depending on the area. These are already extension connected to 95, but this was an old PBX. So the customer would like to keep 4000 as it is. In AMPDN, I have to assign an access code 8. And access code is a dummy root. It's a station number. Do I need to dial? For example, in the old days, 4000 for this area, and still it's a dummy root. I want to call this extension 4000. It's okay, it's fine, but if you want to keep the same behavior, you have to keep the access code as a dummy root. In AUGNN, you say that, for example, 8952 related for user group 20 for the first user group, and 8953, which is the second user group, will be related for user group number 30, and 894 related for user group number 40. That means each and every group of extension, they will define by their own access code. What I mean to say here, that this will act like a small PBX. This will act like a small PBX. This will act like a small PBX again. How? By defining a kind of dummy or intelligence access code based on the dummy root, meaning this is my access code and this is my area code. Some people say, do I need to add the area code? It's depending on your customer. Maybe you want to add 83 directly or 43 directly. It's again, I'm trying just to expand the example. And here, 82 based on my area. Here my office 1 start with 2 all the time. Office 2, here start with 3. Here start with 4. I just add access code. I want to make this access code as a common way to dial inside the same system. But what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to behave inside my system like I'm trying to dial outside. Because the old scenario that I was dialing outside was a tie trunk E1 QSIG connection. So I want to keep the same way. I will not change it. This is the simple mode. So I'm using my intelligence root to define 8952. I mean, the station start with 2, the station start with 3, the station start with 4. 8 in my system is defined as the access code for dummy root. Then I have to assign my private number index. Is a 3 everywhere, and in user group, a private number, user group relation, I said user group 20 have this access code, 859, 859, 859. What I did here, I just defined that my area code and my access code is 895 for each and every user group. If you just step back a little bit, what we did, we are just drilling down each and every office. I will focus on this office specifically. This office, I already have ASBA-in with access code 8, which is access code for routing outside. And I connect my dummy root with the 8 again and my area code plus my extension number and make a relation for any number. Start with these digits to go with the user group number 12. And again, this is related for my private group number 3. And in private group assignment, I said that user group 20 have this access code. People said, it's really required? Yes, because here we are defining something very generic. Very generic. But here we are specifying ourselves. In ALGSM, just do your normal assignment. In ALGSM, type 2, user group number 20 here. My station number which is assigned in ASTL, related for tenant number 1. My telephone number is the same number, and user group number 20 is related for user group number 20 for 895, and 895 is related for 8952 if the user from other side were to call me. And we repeat the same example. We repeat the same example of 3 offices. Private number MND means how many digits I want to dial as access code and the area code. I will make it much more simpler. Here was the, again, here is the old scenario. How many access code I use in the system for station numbers? I use 2, I use 3, and I use 4, right? If I want to dial inside this system, with this scenario, I dial from extension 2000, 3000 directly. And from 2000, I dial 895, 4000. If this 4000 want to call 2000, he will dial 895, 2000. This with the old BBS. They have a TOBA system, a very old system. But they want to remove this system and just keep the same way of dialing. In the initial subject of discussion, IP syntax is a little bit complicated. But the implementation is very, very nice because you will still convince your user for the same numbering plan that they was using by 3 concepts. Station number or extension number, which is represented by ALGSM, private number, which is spread over the network, and the public network, and a number that you are going outside to the BST.
But with this scenario, the stations, they are different.
Yes.
Number 2003, 4000.
Yes.
I think the normal situation, we can dial each other. No problem.
Okay, but with the old BBX, from extension 3000, you was dial 895, then 4000. And you remove the BBX. How you do it?
When the normal situation, I said there is no problem. We can dial each other.
Here, between this
But if
3000.
we want to go to the 895, then we will go to the.
Here, this system, how you can reach without access code. You assign in your office data that 8 is my access code to go to this area. So I have to dial 895 to reach this BBS. This was your own access code. What you said is completely right. If I want to call from 2000 to 3001, just dial it. But here, it was an old BBS. But I want to keep the same number in there. It's possible.
And what I am understanding, am right or not, that we are here trying to create 3-4 networking inside one PBXs.
To maintain the same dialing plan that the customer was using. And you can have up to 255 network in the same system. Based on
And this is under the umbrella of the tenant, huh?
no user group.
User group.
Yes, because in the next scenario, we create this as a station here. We make a relation here that office A, here is office A, here is office B, and here is office C. Office A is related for user group number 20, office B related for user group number 30, and the office C related for user group number 40.
Okay.
I can make it user group 1, 2, 3. I can make any number. I have to ask myself, what is my access code between the offices? What is my access code between the offices?
But the idea, no need here to have different tenant. I can do it with different tenant or with one tenant.
Very, very good question. Here, tenants are the same.
The same.
If you want to match between your tenant and your user group, it's also possible. If you want to verify it, also possible. If you want to expand it, it's also possible. But the point here, this kind of military customer, they really don't like to change. Sometimes we got a project with Austrian police, and they was really willing to stop the complete project if you are not able to deliver this. They said, okay, your system is nice and it's secure and we are fit with. But we don't want to change our numbering plan because it's really well known over the country. Even if I send a public announcement that the number of police changes from 911 to 211, still people will dial 911. So they don't want to go in this direction. So they simply say, if you could enable the access of this system like it was old system like an Nortel or a Avaya or an EC or whatever, and still it's connected to the same server, but with a different access code, it's fine. So we come with the idea of IP syntax. That here we have the same tenant and the station number are completely different. Here we define the private number, leading private number for each and every user group, and here we define the user group leading digit. We say here 2, 3, 5, 4 for example, and we make a relation between the user group and the leading digit. Here we decide how many leading digits will be for my private number. My extension number is 4 digit. Maybe I want to add only 8. Maybe I want to add 3 digits. So from here we can decide which is my private number leading digit, because here this is my extension number, and here to call from here to here I have to use my private number. To call from here to outside I have to use my public number. Till now we don't talk about the public number, we're just talking about the extension, and we're talking about the private number inside one system. I divide my extension to do multiple groups based on the old migration requirement.
But also, again, in this case, we can't assign the number 2000 in Office A and 2000 in
No,
Office
it's
B.
the same system. All are connected for the same server. But the customer wants the behavior in this way. The customer wants to make it act like a different offices. Think about it. This could be a mall, and they would like to have this separation. Or let's say this is a kind of police department connected in one of the borders. They have gendarme, they have army, they can't call each other, but with access code. Some people try to make it simple. Think about network with thousands of users. If it's fixed, keep it fixed. You cannot really do your change in the way that you like.
We already use this in police officers in all Kingdom of Jordan. All chiefs on the police centers, they have just one number.
Yeah.
2001 or 2001.
Yeah, but
Depends.
they are related for different node?
Yes, no. What is the difference? It's here, what you call it is private, we call it NLC, Network Location Code.
But again,
You dial network location code, then you dial
again, but they are related for two different nodes.
two different.
But this is the same.
This is one node.
And this is one. This is also additional beauty. With the two nodes, you can use the open numbering plan scheme. With the open numbering, for example, in the Turkish police, they everywhere in Turkish police 400 is the boss. Everywhere they have a lot of systems. They have a number access code for the systems or the nodes, 4 digit, 8 and 4 digit, because they are expecting more than 1,000 nodes. So they have there 4 and leading digit 5 and the 3 digit extension number. They are really there in 8 digits. But here it's in the same system, in the same controller, but we make it act in this way. For the people who believe in the centralization of the services, it's also very good. And AdNoc now, they have a plan. I will show you a very quick example to understand what is the use of this kind of networking. Here's AdNoc network. What AdNoc is planning now, all of these nodes, which have the same color, they want to conclude all of this site on a single site. They ask, please provide the UMGI cluster for 16,000 users in one FT server, and we'll put it in our office. And we will just send IP phones everywhere. But these systems are related for contractor, and they are not part of our network. So if they dial us, we want to give them access code, not a normal code that they are connected directly to our network. And again, our user have to call them in the same way. Let's say this kind of network is also more sophisticated because it's closely based on the closed numbering plan. The extension number unique everywhere, except the contractor they have their access code. So if customer would like big migration for the 23 system and he want to have the same there, you should have the capability of IB Centric to convince them. I think I also have an IB Centric reference because without a good example, we will not really understand the usage of IB Centric. Global reference. This one of the example of IB Centric. Each and every phone explaining site or location, and this location have their own access code. In the old days, each and every node was have a small behaviors, but later they have, for example, in America 195, and that's it. Now this 95 have the access code with the other old behaviors, and one by one they remove it and they install ID4, but they keep the same numbering plan that they was using before. This is one of the famous, I think this is Mitsio project. We have another project in Austria for a chain of hotels. The owner of all hotels are a single guy, and he wants to serve all of his hotel from the same night because he wants to have a centralized VMS for all of hotel chains. So we could implement it and separate it. Officially, IB Centric is not supported for hotel, but for this project specifically we support.
Why not support it for hotel?
It's not supported officially.
Officially?
No, it's not.
Ah, okay.
Let's take another example. And here we have all BBX and two groups of user, two offices. If they would like to call from this office to this office, they dial 97. They call from this office to this office, they dial 97. If they call from this all BABX to office B, they want to dial 96. And here they have to dial 95. And here they have 2001, 2001, 2001. Customer decided, I don't want the system anymore. And I want to have 2001 here, 2001 here, 2001 here. And at the same time, access code 97 here, access code to 95 to reach here, 96 to reach here. And at the same time, I would like to call 2000 to 2001 here, 97, 95, 96 outside. The setup will be in user group number 20, I have a station 2000. In user group number 30, I have 2000. User group number 40, I have a station 2000. In AUGNN assignment, I have defined my dummy route to go with 895. 895. 8 the access code for the offices. 95. With user group number 20. 892 with the, again, user group number 30. 897 for user group number 40. And I said, this is the relation with my group, and this is the relation of my group, and this is the relation of my group, then the ALGS.
Now I have a question about the station number.
Yeah.
As you told, we cannot assign one station number
Yes.
to two different levels.
Yeah, that's correct. And it's still the same. I make it purposely like this because I need someone to ask this question. Now, I have extension 2000. In AISTL, I have extension 2000.
Yes,
How many extension 2000 I can assign?
one.
Exactly. So I have to define a dummy number 2001 in AISTL. But in ALGSN, I define 2000 in user group number 1. I define 2002 as a dummy number and 2000 in user group number